D2 Word Life here with Rip Popcorn Man Tides. Wait, I meant Pop
No,
Tart
it's
Man Tides. God damn it. Why the hell did I say popcorn?
well, no, we all know that you wanted to be part of the hashtag Pop Tart team with Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins. We all know that you wanted to dress up like wild berry Pop Tart men and women.
Why the hell were they dressed up looking like a dang set of Pop Tarts? I don't know, but yeah, we'll get out to that later. After I screwed up the intro. Why was I thinking about popcorn? I don't know. Maybe I was thinking about going to the movies. I don't know. But, yeah. But anyway, here we are reviewing the first ever WWE Premium Live event or pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it, from ESPN WrestlePalooza 2025.
Which actually, the stream on the ESPN app was actually really smooth.
Oh, yeah? Well, you watch on the ESPN app, so tell us your experience.
ESPN, not ESPN.
Or ESPN. You watched on the ESPN app. So tell us your experience streaming this before we go into detail.
Like I said, it was really smooth.
You didn't have any bugs or issues?
No.
That's good to know. On my case, I was watching it on Disney Plus. Don't watch live streams on Disney Plus.
Why?
Because because I know Disney Plus comes with the ESPN as part of a package deal, and they stream Disney Plus streams ESPN stuff on the Disney Plus app, but my experience wasn't that good. Yeah, it kept being kept going all fuzzy in and out, and it kept freaking freezing on me. Like the picture kept freezing on me from time to time, but you can still hear the audio. So I literally had to back out and just watch it on Netflix through my VPN app. But yeah, I think I would have rather watched it on freaking ESPN app over Disney Plus app if I had to choose one. Right?
Next time you can try it on the ESPN and I'll do it on Disney.
And see how you fare with it. And all of a sudden you're like, Disney Plus ran smoothly for me. Me? It was garbage. When we have to watch freaking Crown Jewel next month. And yeah, and then I'd be like, then I would just chalk it up as like, well, my internet connection's shit. I'm streaming, I guess. At that point, but anyway.
I'll be watching it really early in the morning.
Oh yeah, because they're gonna be in freaking Perth, Australia for Crown Jewel next month.
Yes.
Which, we're going to be doing a review on that, but, we're not focused on that. We're focused here on WrestlePalooza. Back to the subject. This event took place on September 20th, 2025 in Indianapolis, Indiana at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse. And the commentators, and I guess the attendance they said was like... Do you remember what they said for attendance on commentary? Because I don't remember.
No.
Well, I think they said something like over 50,000. I could be wrong on that. So yeah, I could be wrong on that, but either way, I know it was a big number of people who attended the show, but then again, I don't really talk about the attendance on these current shows. Freaking the commentators for this event were your boy Michael Cole, Wade Barrett, and a returning Pat McAfee who commentated the first 3 matches before leaving once again. For some reason I don't know, right?
No.
Oh yeah, what were you thinking when Pat McAfee came out at the start of the show to do commentary? Someone we haven't seen in a while.
Well, he was getting burnt out from the same thing with Michael Cole, as people notice that he hasn't been on Raw or SmackDown, because he's now part of both. Yeah. He's been burnt out. And Michael Cole's also planning retirement.
You gotta realize Michael Cole's been doing various roles on W television for over 20 years.
Yes.
Nearly 30 years at this point. Whether it's, commentator, backstage interviewer, or God forbid wrestler. I do not want to freaking remember that orange singlet. What the hell are you trying to say in the middle of your yawn?
I said we all know that was your favorite. It was Michael Cole as a wrestler, so you can see him in his orange singlet with Jack Swagger.
Hell no. Anyway. Oh yeah, and also the ring announcer for this event was Alicia Taylor. She's been the current ring announcer anyway, so that goes without saying. Right?
Yeah, but we didn't have a visit from Chelsea Green.
Oh yeah, I know you missed Chelsea Green competing at these pay-per-views, even though freaking she wasn't on a whole lot of them, just so you can hear that. I don't know why I don't know why that is. I don't know why Alicia Taylor puts so much emphasis on that last name, on Chelsea Green's last name, but yeah, either way, whatever works, am I right?
She's always like, it's Chelsea Green.
So anyway, at the start of the show, after the pre-show was over, we got introduced to the show by Triple H in the ring, cutting a promo or speech, welcoming people to WrestlePalooza, the first pay-per-view on ESPN. And then we got opening pyro. Plus,
first we had Michael Cole with his essay that is saying that he's been with WWE for fucking ever. ESPN. He started as a freaking announced corresponder.
Yep. Yeah, and they played.
And what it meant to him for WWE being on ESPN.
Yeah, and they played like a big ESPN hype package with all the past and the present, and other sports that's on there. You know what I'm saying? That's how the show opened up. Then after all that's done and over with, we get to the first match of the evening, which was John Cena taking on the Beast Brock Lesnar.
It wasn't even a match.
Yeah, but we'll get to that. Freaking Brock Lesnar made his entrance first, and, John Cena came out with a special type entrance. This is part of John Cena's retirement tour, which December is fastly approaching.
Yes, he only has 3 months left.
And I swear, and I know I normally don't do this, but I swear we're probably going to have to do a Saturday night's main event review for his last match in December. When that happens, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, John Cena had a special entrance surrounded by his C Nation members, right?
They were the Make-A-Wish Foundation C Nation members.
The Make-A-Wish Foundation the Make-A-Wish kids wearing freaking John Cena's matching gear that he had, or matching shirts at least, right?
Yes.
And the whole time Brock Lesnar looked irritated looking at Cena coming down to the ring. Ring introductions happened. Obviously, John Cena was introduced first as the greatest of all time, the last real champion, the whole 9 yards.
And then who shows up? The Walrus.
Yeah, and right before freaking Alicia Taylor had a chance to do the intro for Brock Lesnar, we hear, "Ladies and gentlemen." I'm like, oh crap. Those two are back together. Paul Heyman then came out, and he was one who did the introduction for Brock Lesnar. And mind you, this was Brock Lesnar's first match in about 25 months? Since SummerSlam 2023, this is Brock's first match since then. Yep, and then after the bell rang, Jesus Christ, all hell broke out when Brock dominated John Cena right away at the get-go.
It wasn't even This is how the fucking match. It wasn't even dominate. This was annihilation. This was just ass beating.
Yes.
He fucking did a couple suplexes, hit him in the section a couple of times. John Cena fucking got 3 AAs or FUs, and then fucking Brock.
Still kicked
what
out.
happens? Brock Lesnar kicks out. Then John Cena does the "you can't see me." Brock Lesnar kicks the fuck up.
Nails an F5.
Grabs him in the F5. Hits him five fucking times.
With another F5. With 5 F5s. And Lesnar went for the pinfall. Lesnar got the pin on John Cena with the 3 count and won the match.
Yeah. This was just a reminiscence of 2014 when he came back and whipped his ass that time.
And then after the match, Brock Lesnar, for some reason, decided to deliver an F5 to the referee before hitting John Cena with another one.
Because he was in his way.
So Cena took 6 F5s in this match. I think 3 or 4 suplexes. The only offense Cena got was 3 FUs or attitude adjustments in this match.
Yes.
And when John Cena was trying to do the 5-knuckle shuffle saying you can't see me, Brock sprung up saying, "Yep, I can see you, bitch," and destroyed him with F5s.
Yes. Like I said, it's just reminiscence of 2014.
Yeah. So yeah, your thoughts on this ass kicking from bell to bell?
It wasn't even an ass kicking. It was a fucking annihilation. It was a mauling. It was just a piece of meat. There was no match. It was just Brock Lesnar being Brock Lesnar.
John Cena had his ass handed to him on a silver platter in this opener.
It wasn't even a silver platter.
Okay, what was it then?
It was a gold platter.
Here, for world's best ass kicking. Right?
Yes.
Ugh. Yeah, from bell to bell, I thought it was... I'm conflicted. One, it really wasn't a match. It was more like a glorified squash, but on the other hand, it was a Brock Lesnar match. And, you know, Brock Lesnar matches are usually high impact and hard hitting like that.
Yes.
So I'm kind of conflicted on how it made me feel. So to me, just because of I had all those factors, I kind of gave it a little bit of an average score. I thought it was serviceable, but at least it wasn't the main event. If it was laid out like this, at least we didn't have this as a main event that everyone thought was going to happen. So that's my thoughts on this one. Oh, God. Moving on, we go on to the next matchup, which this one had a little twist on it. It was the Usos, Jimmy and Jay Uso, taking on the Vision, which is Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, and they were the ones accompanied by Paul Heyman.
Yeah, it looked like fucking Rick and Scott Steiner back from the fucking 90s.
Yes. And I guess we didn't see the pre-shows, but they recapped what happened on the pre-show right before this match when LA Knight was declared the special guest referee.
It wasn't even during the pre-show. It was the beginning. Right before the show started, that they were getting into an argument backstage, and fucking Adam Pearce said, "Fuck it, we're gonna need someone that's meaner, a little tougher, and someone that's a whole lot of pissed off."
Which LA Knight fit that bill, because remember, in recent weeks on Raw, LA Knight's been having his issues with both Breaker and Reed, and also Jey Uso.
Yes.
Because it was like, what, 2 weeks ago that Jey Uso freaking nailed freaking LA Knight with a super kick for no reason, and then LA Knight freaking came back with a blunt force trauma on Raw this past week. As a little bit revenge.
And then before the pay-per-view, he got speared.
Yes. So, yeah, do you think LA Knight's going to be a fair, objective referee?
He was fair. Just not to Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker.
Yeah, and the whole time when The whole time at the beginning when Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker were in control, LA Knight was given the 5 count against the ropes, doing all that shit. And I remember at one point in the match, Jimmy Uso got tagged in, went to the outside, where he reversed like a chair shot at Tim from, I believe, was it Bronson Reed out there or was it Braun Breaker out there?
It was Bronson Reed because Bronson Reed dragged his, threw him out. Well, Braun Breaker threw him out. Bronson Reed got tagged in. He went down to the floor, grabbed a chair, and then LA Knight just like fucking going, what? No.
And then freaking Jey Uso reversed it, got the chair himself. And what did LA Knight do?
Jimmy.
He just looked at, goes, I'm gonna turn my
It
back and
was
walk
Jimmy,
away. Or Jimmy Uso.
not Jimmy.
Jimmy Uso got the freaking chair. LA Knight looked at that and was like, yeah, screw it, I'm gonna walk away. My back's turned, I can't see it.
Well, he said that there was going to be a gray area. And there was no gray area. That was just him saying, fuck you to the vision.
And then freaking Jimmy proceeded to freaking beat down freaking Reed with a steel chair on the outside. And obviously that didn't set well with the heels or the opposition of the Usos here. And then a little later on, I think it was Jay or Jimmy, whoever it was. I think it was Jay got beaten down with a steel chair and in the ring. And Ellen and I was like, well, I can't disqualify. That'd make me a hypocrite now. Now, wouldn't it? Right?
Yeah.
So pretty much this match deteriorated into a no-holds-barred tag match because the referee, LA Knight, allowed it. Just decided to be like, fuck it, do whatever you want. Kind of like you refereeing a 2K match and then screwing me over.
I have no clue what you're talking about. I am a fair and unbiased referee.
And at one point there was a at one point a table got brought into play, got propped up in the corner. I remember that.
Well, Jay told Jimmy to get the table because they were gonna do the one and done, the 1D.
Yeah, I think either Jay or Jimmy or both. I think freaking Jimmy and Jay both got freaking speared through the table by Breaker at one point in the matchup. But before that,
it was at the end of the match when they both got speared.
Yeah, but before that, we gotta mention this. Jey Uso, I think, struck Breaker with a chair, and the chair ricocheted and smacked him in the head, thus busting him open. The hard way, if you notice that, right?
Yeah, but he also went to hit Bronson Reed with Bronson Reed dodged and almost clocked LA Knight.
Yeah, and Jay almost hit LA Knight, but Jay stopped himself, right?
Yep.
And that's when, and of course shortly after that's when we said Breaker performed the spear on both Usos through the table, and then Reed went to the top rope and performed the tsunami on Jay, and they got the 3 count. LA Knight.
Braun Breaker was fucking holding Jay down.
Yeah, but either way, Bronson Reed pinned Jey Uso to win this I guess we can call it unofficial no-holds-barred tag team match with LA Knight as a special guest referee.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on this one, bell to bell.
Braun team won.
Well, you think the Usos should have took this one?
Yes.
You even said it during our predictions for this event at the end of the last review that friggin' you feel like Breaker and Reed were gonna win it.
No, I said the Usos.
But whatever, either way, Breaker and Reed won this match.
You said Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed.
At least they got a pay-per-view win. Yeah, it was kind of screwy because of the LA Knight being the referee here, but it is what it is. And I think because of this, I think that'll further the feud between Jey Uso and LA Knight on Raw. but we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, now we go on to the next match of the night, which was for the vacant Women's World Championship, because remember, Naomi had to vacate the Women's World Championship due to her pregnancy, because Jimmy Uso did not proceed with caution.
Yeah.
And because of that, Stephanie Valkyr, who won the right to face off against the Women's World Champion at Clash in Paris, obviously that match did not happen. So instead, this match was set up for the vacant Women's World title between Valkyr and Io Sky, the former Women's World Champion, here at WrestlePalooza.
Yeah.
And honestly, this match kind of interesting because it was a match between two faces. These crowds seem to be split. Half of them were chanting for Valkyr, the other half were chanting for Sky here. And I'm pretty sure there was just fans that were chanting for both and didn't really care who won. Right?
And for a second there, I thought I heard Kyrie!
God damn it. But yeah, I mean, there really wasn't much of a feud between these two going into this one, other than the fact that they were facing each other for the Women's World title. I mean, Stephanie Valkyr, let's face it, she's doing a whole lot of nothing storyline-wise in the backstage, while freaking Io Sky has to deal with Kairi Sane, Asuka, and supposedly Rhea Ripley backstage. And the funny Kairi skits that Asuka's been doing. Like you just referenced, right?
Yeah, all of a sudden, I thought for a second I heard Kyrie!
Yep. And either way, despite the poor lack of build on this one, they only had one confrontation facing each other face to face this past Monday on Raw. These two had a great, back and forth match. Neither of them kept the momentum, at all, really. I mean, at one point I thought, okay, Sky's going to win it. Nope. Freaking Valkyr's going to win it. No. Eventually we did see the freaking Devil's Kiss performed on Sky here. Right?
Yes, and they went bouncy, bouncy.
Yeah, after Sky got out of that maneuver once before, but couldn't avoid it a second time after more punishment. Right?
Yeah.
And near the end of the match, Valkyr was down. Sky attempted to do her moonsault off the rope, but
over the moonsault.
Yeah, but Valkyr moved out of the way, and freaking Sky ate nothing but
canvas. She didn't move. No, when Io Sky first did the move, Valkyr didn't move. She freaking put her foot right into her.
Oh, yeah. That looked nasty, right?
Then she proceeded to put Io right on the rope and do like dragon leg screw.
Yeah.
Not once, but twice. And freaking Io's fucking body contorted the wrong direction.
Jesus. If there's one thing that Io Sky, if there's one thing other than her wrestling moves that Io Sky is freaking good at, it's selling these moves, making them look like death, like that, right?
No, her whole body convulsed in the wrong direction for a second.
I know, but I'm just saying in general, she can do that real well as well, right?
Then Io freaking went for the bullet train attack. She hit the bullet train attack couple of times, and then she went to do more damage by taking off her knee pads.
Yeah, after having her knee fucked up, right?
And then she hits that one. Then she decides, this is right after she got out of the SVB bomb, which is the Stephanie Valkyr bomb.
Yeah.
And then she decides, I'm going to hit my move again. So,
the moonsault.
And what happens? Stephanie Valkyr moves. And she hits her knees.
Yeah, and Sky ate nothing but canvas on that one, which allowed Vaquero to friggin' perform a spinal tap on Sky to get the win and the
Well,
vacant
a
women's title.
version of the spinal tap.
Yeah, well, either way, after Vaquero hit that spinal tap or modified spinal tap or whatever maneuver, whatever you want to call it, on the Sky, she pins Sky to win the vacant women's world title.
Yes.
After a great match between these two, I know we haven't gone into detail. I'm just saying this is one of the matches you gotta see for yourself. So, your thoughts on this one?
It was a good match. And my pick won.
That was also my pick as well for this one.
And also, Valkyrie has won 3 titles just this year alone, within months of each other. She won the NXT Women's title when she came in this year.
Yep.
She won the Women's North American Championship and held both titles. Now she holds the Women's title.
So now the question is, what's going to happen at Crown Jewel Perth in Australia? I think there's a certain Australian women's performer here that would love to have another women's world title match, especially against Stephanie Valkyrie here now.
Yes.
I'm not making any speculation, but I would not be surprised or opposed to seeing a Stephanie Valkyrie versus Rhea Ripley women's world title match.
That would actually be very interesting to see Stephanie Valkyrie and Rhea Ripley go at it. Because Rhea Ripley told both of them, either if it's Io or Stephanie, she's going after them.
And knowing that freaking Crown Jewel is going to be taking place in Perth, Australia, Rhea Ripley's backyard, pretty much her home country there, that would be an interesting match scene. Now, this is just all pure speculation. We don't know what's going to happen in the women's world title scene on Raw yet. Obviously, we're just speculating.
Well, at Crown Jewel, if Rhea Ripley can win it before Crown Jewel, then she'll be facing Tiffany Stratton or one of the other 2 challenges that she's going to be in a triple threat with on Friday night.
Yeah, and
for the women's crown champion or whatever, like Liv Morgan won.
Yeah, and I know, but with Io Sky, I mean, I had no issue with Io Sky as women's world champion. Just she did a whole lot of nothing earlier this year, and only pretty much defended against Rhea Ripley, as we know. Before that cash in, remember?
Yeah.
And with this whole rivalry that's maybe starting to develop with Io Sky and Asuka, that one doesn't need a women's world title match. In my opinion, that story just writes itself with what we've been seeing.
Well, it seems like Asuka's going to turn heel.
Yep. But, as intriguing, and I know this is off topic here, I'll get back on topic here in a minute, but I just have to briefly mention this because I don't know if they're going to be doing any pay-per-view payoff for this one, but as intriguing as the Io Sky and Asuka situation backstage is in recent weeks, I think there's another women's feud that is also equally as interesting to take note. And of course, yes, I'm talking about Lyra Valkyrie and Bayley's feud right now.
Yeah.
It's like, jeez. I mean, what's your thoughts on that one so far? We've seen how crazy Bayley's been lately.
She hears voices in her head, just like another superstar.
And at time of recording, it was last Monday, that Bayley was all like, oh, looked like she was going to do something, and then, started hugging everyone at ringside and then went crazy backstage.
Yes, and how much you want to bet is that she'll come out with, I hear voices calling.
And then Randy Orton somewhere be like, someone's ripping off my gimmick. But anyway, my thoughts. But anyway, back to the subject here. My thoughts on the Stephanie McMahon and Io Sky match was one of the best matches of the night at this point. And it was about this time after the match that Pat McAfee left the commentary table, so we were just back to Barrett and Cole. Right?
Yeah.
For the last two matches here, the semi-main and the main. And speaking of which, the semi-main of this night, which is a match that honestly that honestly should have been the main event, was CM Punk and the in-ring return of AJ Lee taking on
The undefeated CM Punk and AJ Lee, because they had 2 victories prior to this, so they were 2-0. Now they're going to be 3-0.
yeah, and in this match they were taking on Team Pop Tart. I mean Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins.
Yes, Team Pop Tart. Yes.
And as we know, Seth Rollins is a world champion, and Becky Lynch is the women's intercontinental champion here. Obviously, those titles were not on the line in this match, even though that would have been an interesting dynamic if it was. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're not going to talk about this full match in detail. Lord knows I had a lot of spots. It's one of those matches you got to go back and watch, obviously, but at one point in the matchup, yeah, it was, yeah, freaking Lynch didn't even want to be in the match. He kept trying to stall, stopping AJ Lee from getting the hot tag, because, in a mixed tag match, it's the men versus the men and the women versus the women. Lynch wanted no part of Lee and wanted to try to prevent Lee from getting in the match the whole time. Eventually, that backfired.
Oh, no, she didn't want to be in the match completely. She just wanted to stand out on the ring and start just beating the shit out of Punk whenever he was in their corner. And just running scared because she knew she couldn't beat AJ Lee.
Yeah, and every time freaking Punk would try to tag in freaking Lee, freaking Lynch would just knock her off the apron, preventing it from happening. Right?
Yes.
And I get it, that's a classic heel tactic, but if you do it more than like twice in a match, it just becomes overkill. In my opinion, right?
Yeah.
But, eventually freaking AJ Lee got the tag in after freaking Rollins was taken out with a GTS, right? And that meant that Lynch had no choice but to get in there. She couldn't tag out because Rollins was out on the outside of the ring. And Lee proceeded to just take her down and just start beating the hell out of Lynch. Right?
Yep.
And that wasn't it. They took the brawl all over the ring and onto the outside. The men eventually got tagged in. And then Rollins at one point was in control over Punk with everyone down. And I don't know what other way to describe this, but it was kind of, except for weird. Rollins decided to mock AJ Lee at one point by doing freaking AJ Lee skipping around the ring.
Yeah, that was kind of fruity.
And I'm just looking at that like, what the hell? Okay, I know y'all's gonna...
Well, that matched their Pop-Tarts. Their Pop-Tart outfit.
But, eventually, a little bit later after that, the double team moves came into play. Freaking, I think Lee and freaking Punk attempted to double GTS on Lynch and Rollins here. At one point.
Yes.
And of course, Lynch and Rollins were trying to fight back, even as far as trying to perform double pedigrees. Right?
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't GTS. Becky, no, AJ had Becky and the Black Widow, and CM Punk had Rollins and the Sharpshooter. Becky clawed Punk in the eyes, which broke the Black Widow, which made gave them the advantage of hitting the pedigree. They're trying to hit the pedigree and the curb stomp.
Yeah, and then Yeah, and then freaking, I think it was Lee that one point that curve stomped Rollins when Rollins had the pinfall over freaking Punk. Stopping that
Yes.
pinfall, that was kind of awesome to see. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then.
Because
Yeah, and
Becky
then.
wasn't looking. She was just like, yeah, count the three. And then all of a sudden, all we see is fucking AJ Lee run right in after played out
Yeah, and at one point, I
by
think.
Becky.
Yeah, and at one point, freaking Lynch hit the manhandle slam on the Lee and got a 2 count. That was a freaking near 2 count. Everyone was like gasping at that one because they thought that was it. Right?
Yeah.
Didn't Lee hit a manhandle slam rolling onto Lynch as well? Stealing her own
Yes.
move?
Well, they were going to steal their moves right on the Spanish and the other announce
On the
table.
English announce table, but that didn't work.
And AJ had the manhandle slam, and CM Punk had the pedigree getting ready, but that got reversed.
Obviously,
Which
so they both
Rollins
Punk ate the
put
table.
Punk into the manhandle slam position, which got also got reversed, and what happened? He has him in the GTS position, and what happens? Becky Lynch throws AJ Lee at him,
Yeah, that's
knocking them all through the table.
yeah. So the Spanish announce table is wrong. Of course, this wouldn't be a WWE pay-per-view event or PLE without the Spanish announce table breaking.
No, the Spanish announce table did not break.
Oh, it was
Michael Cole and Wade Barrett's announce table that broke.
Damn. But anyway, back in the ring when Lynch looked like she had everything. Oh, back in the ring, we got to remember this spot too, and this was before the ending of the match. Freaking Rollins was all freaking like, acting all cocky and confident. Then Lee freaking put him in the freaking Black Widow as well. At one point in this match.
Well, Rollins tried to break the Black Widow on Becky Lynch, so he grabbed her, and then what happens? Freaking AJ Lee just reverses that, turns that into the Black Widow on him.
Which put freaking Rollins out once again, and then it was in the end of the match. We got to go to the ending of the match. Lee actually freaking applied the Black Widow officially on the freaking Lynch, and after a bit of struggling, Lynch tapped out, thus giving Punk and Lee the win. Your thoughts on this one from bell to bell?
It was good.
Honestly, I think this mixed tag match was the best match of the night, and the right team won. Therefore, they can go forward with a possible Lee versus Lynch feud for the women's Intercontinental title. Thus, the continuation of the world title between Punk and Rollins is still there as well.
Yeah, but we at least Team Pop-Tart lost.
You want a team? We all know how much you wanted Team Pop-Tart to win.
We all know you wanted Team Pop-Tart to win.
Especially if they had extra frosting.
I know you wanted that extra frosting.
Oh yeah, and besides, if you're wondering why we're calling them Team Pop-Tart, they shared. Lynch and Rollins came out for their entrance wearing the same blue freaking attire. Basically.
Purple attire.
Or purple attire, and I'm just like, what the hell? Alright. So yeah, I thought this match was the best match of the night. And it should have been the main event. I'm surprised it wasn't. Because yes, I know the status quo is that the WWE Championship match should be the main event, but if you have a big match like this that's most hyped and most talked about, it should be the main event. Especially if
they weren't going to make the mixed tag team the main event. They were making it semi-main because they always have the world title or WWE title as the main event.
Yeah, but in my opinion, the WWE Championship match that followed this for the main event could not follow this mixed tag match. Right? With how crazy and insane it was. Right?
Yeah.
Of course, before we get to the main event, everyone got an unexpected surprise. Because we thought, okay, after the whole advert and, advertising was done, we go back to ringside. We thought, okay, we're gonna get the WWE Championship main event done, and then the show would be over. But no, we got one more surprise because then the lights went out and we heard the gong, and then we heard American Badass start playing, and everyone took notice, like, oh, the Undertaker's coming out. Let's see what the dead man has to say, right?
Yes.
So yeah, the Undertaker rode his motorcycle up to ringside, got on the microphone and noticed Stephanie McMahon was sitting in the audience. So he went over the barricade and sat next to Stephanie sitting out there.
Well, he was saying he did that because he's like, oh, I was in Vegas for the fight, and I turn around, you were there. I'm here for the pay-per-view, and when I find out, you're here again.
What are you stopping?
Are you following me?
Are you following me?
And she's like, yes, I've been following you for a long time. So he's like, let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, I know that's a little inside joke because obviously Mark Calloway and Stephanie McMahon have been friends for well over friggin' 20 years. Nearly 30 at this point. Right?
Well, it's over 30 because she's been friends with him when he first debuted.
When she was like teenager, little kid.
Yes.
She grew up with around the business anyway.
And then she was in the storyline with the Taker when he was in the Ministry.
Yes. And then the Undertaker sat in the front row in the crowd and he goes, man, it's weird. It's weird sitting here. I'm not used to this view or whatever he said. Right?
Oh, I'm not used to this feeling. She's like, oh, you should try it next time. It's really great. Oh, I also wanted to try this too. Are you ready? I said, are you ready?
For the next announcement that Taker was going to make, which...
Just stealing the thunder of Triple H.
Yeah. But with that news, the big surprise was that The Undertaker revealed that...
he'll be announcing Stephanie McMahon in the 2026 Hall of Fame. She's the first inductee of the 2026 Hall of Fame.
So yeah.
We may see Mr. McMahon at the induction ceremony.
Yeah, and after close to 30 years or over 30 years, well, over 30 years if you want to count, or growing up around the business, because obviously of who her father was, I guess that was actually well worth it. I mean, hey, and then I'm thinking to myself, hey, Stephanie, how does it feel that in storyline the person who abducted you in 99 is the one telling you you're going in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
But yeah, that was a feel-good moment, and now we know Stephanie McMahon is going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame next year, right before WrestleMania. Right?
Yes, and Undertaker is still a locker room leader, even though he is retired and he's just doing cameos, backstage work, and works on LFG, Future Legends, Future, whatever the damn thing is for training of new superstars.
Legends and future greats.
Yes.
And obviously, Mark Calloway or The Undertaker is also doing his podcast for WWE's YouTube channel as well. Now, for those of you, who don't know, obviously. So yeah, Undertaker.
Well, he has two podcasts. That one and his 6 Feet Under.
The 6 Feet Under podcast is the one on WWE's YouTube channel. I mean, The Undertaker hasn't done one for his original one since freaking before WrestleMania. Which he already ended the partnership anyway with his former co-host there, Mr. Blue Chew guy. Well, whatever. I mean, it's a real guy. I mean, I still watch his podcasts every now and then, just to see what's going on. Myself, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyway, we go after that. We go to the main event, which saw Cody Rhodes defend the WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre, and I know they freaking hyped the WWE Championship up as the undisputed WWE title, but it cannot be undisputed when there's another World Championship going around that Seth Rollins has. I know they say that because I unified the WWE and Universal Championships, but can we just drop the undisputed from its name? I just call it the WWE Championship at this point. You know what
They don't want to.
I don't care. I'll still just call it the WWE Championship. I'm not calling it the undisputed title.
Well, also, on the pre-show, though, I forgot, CM Punk and AJ's dog Larry had his own
locker room. Jeez. That's funny, but anyway, both men made their entrances, and this story really started between these two of McIntyre and Rhodes when Drew McIntyre attacked Rhodes after a tag team match on SmackDown following SummerSlam and took Cody Rhodes out with a Claymore kick through the side of the announce table, only for Cody Rhodes to come back like a little over a month later and pretty much confirm that they are going to fight each other here at WrestlePalooza for the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Well, it wasn't even a month that it happened. See, he had come back from after having his second daughter and his taping for
The
Street Fighter
movie coming
Then
out.
he comes back and Punk and McIntyre attacks him. Then again, a couple weeks later, he puts his head right through the Spanish announce table, or one of the the announce tables, one of them.
Yep.
And then he comes back last week and tells him that he's going to be fighting for the title.
Yeah, so...
Because Rhodes didn't even have 24 hours to recover from that beating.
Yeah, so yeah, this match, Drew McIntyre looked like he was in control for most of the beginning of the match, but Cody Rhodes came back. But, you know, at one point McIntyre performed the white noise on Rhodes, nod to his friend Sheamus backstage. Because even though the rivals on screen, they're friends backstage, Sheamus was at McIntyre's wedding, as we know, but that's backstage business. Right?
Well, no, they're friends in real life. Just because that they're enemies on screen doesn't mean that you can't be friends in real life and shit.
Yep. Yeah, just like here in these videos. Yeah, you're my mortal enemy when it comes to the freaking games and contests we do, but in real life, I'm like, hey, you want to go to Raw? Okay. Right?
Yes.
But anyway, following the white noise, freaking McIntyre did attempt a Claymore kick, but Rhodes countered into a powerbomb for a near fall, or 2 count, whatever. Right?
Well, he also hit the Claymore, made fucking Rhodes fucking spin like a fucking top.
Yeah, and I think that also got a 2 count, I believe.
Yes.
And at one point, freaking Rhodes locked in the figure 4 leg lock, a nod to Ric Flair, one of Dusty Rhodes' greatest rivals. But McIntyre escaped out of that move. Right. And and freaking at one point the referee was like trying to freaking put a turnbuckle back up that freaking was exposed that McIntyre accidentally went into when freaking Rhodes threw him into it because McIntyre was the one who exposed the turnbuckle with a roll up, and that got a 2 count, or a crossroads, that got a 2 count after that spot.
Yeah.
And at one point freaking McIntyre charged in at Rhodes in the corner, but the referee got out of the way, but McIntyre then scored I think Rhodes went for the referee, got out of the way, but freaking did McIntyre hit the Claymore, or was it a roll-up? Either way, he had a visual pinfall With the referee was too late getting in the ring, and there was a 2 count.
Let me say what he couldn't get out of his mouth. Fucking McIntyre threw Rhodes into the freaking the exposed turnbuckle. The referee got out of the way. John died. Then he went for the pinfall. The referee comes running right back in and counts. So a 2 count. Then he hits him with the claymore, making him spin like a fucking top.
Yep.
Gets a freaking 2 count yet again.
Yeah, and then we go on to the outside. Then we go to the outside of the ring. McIntyre had Rhodes down in a similar position, with Rhodes was knocked out right next to the announce table. And McIntyre
The Spanish announce table, yes.
Yeah, and then McIntyre was sizing up freaking Cody Rhodes and nail the Claymore kick to the table once again, to the side of the table once again, only for the referee to be like, nope, tried to get got in the way and tried to stop it, buying Cody Rhodes time. But either way, McIntyre.
No ref has ever fucking done.
Yeah, and then whatever. McIntyre tried to freaking do the same thing he did to Rhodes about over a month ago, but Rhodes actually moved out of the way, and McIntyre creamed to the side of the table, taking his leg out, or ankle out.
Yes.
And then we get back into the ring. McIntyre tried to perform a Claymore kick, but he couldn't do it because of the injured leg. Right?
He tried to freaking hit that Claymore, but his leg buckled. And then Cody Rhodes does a super Cody cutter and Crossroads.
Crossroads on McIntyre to win the match and retain the championship. Jeez.
Which McIntyre has a general gripe about because the referee literally tried to stop him from doing something which no ref has ever freaking done to any other wrestler.
Oh, really? Okay, let me look at another case of a referee trying to prevent a wrestler from doing something, only to screw him out later. Oh, Hell in a Cell 2019 comes to mind.
Besides Hell in a Cell 2019.
I'm not looking forward to that event, whenever we get around to it. But anyway, your thoughts on this one from bell to bell. I know I botched the shit. I can't fucking talk today. Why the hell am I even doing this? Why the hell do I even do these reviews?
Because it's in your contract, bitch.
But anyway, your thoughts on this main event from bell to bell, with Rhodes defeating McIntyre to retain the championship, which I easily predicted Cody Rhodes to win this one. No offense to McIntyre, he's a great wrestler, but I didn't see him winning this match or the championship here.
Well, like I said, both are great wrestlers. It all depended on if one of them figuratively, literally slipped on a banana peel, which just happened to be McIntyre at the time.
He didn't technically slip on the metaphorical banana peel. He got screwed over by the referee.
Hey, it's another Earl Hebner situation.
God damn it. What you talking about? Earl Hebner was a fair referee in that match. That I don't know what you're referencing.
Not a fair referee at all.
But anyway, I thought
he screwed over so many wrestlers.
So yeah, I thought the McIntyre Rhodes match was I thought it was like a decent match. Was it worthy of the main event compared to the mixed tag match? No, but I can understand why WWE put the WWE Championship match on last for the main event. So, But you know, beggars can't be choosers. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So anyway, we go on now to our what I always call our favorite part of the review, and that's our rating system / final grade. So, Brock Lesnar defeating John Cena in that annihilation of an opener. Since it's a Brock Lesnar match, I gave it 3.5 out of 5.
5.
And I know my grade is praising way too much because a lot of people online gave that one a -0 online for what it was, right?
I'd give it a 5-star. They both put up a fight, but it was still annihilation no matter what.
So yeah, mine's 3.5 out of 5. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed defeating the Usos with special guest referee LA Knight in that unofficial no holds barred tag team match. I gave that one
3.5.
Yeah, I gave it 3 3/4 out of 5. Stephanie Vaquer defeating Io Sky to win the vacant Women's World Championship. I gave that one 4 out of 5.
I gave that 4.5 because they both put up a pretty decent fight.
Yep. CM Punk and AJ Lee defeating Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. I gave that one easy 5 out of 5.
Easy 5 out of 5, and the 3-0 in tag.
And of course, the main event with Cody Rhodes defeating Drew McIntyre to retain the W Championship. I gave that one 4 out of 5.
I'll give it a 4.5.
Yep. Seems like you enjoyed these matches slightly more than me and one slightly less than me, but we both can agree on that mixed tag match score. My personal final grade for WrestlePalooza 2025 is a B.
I say A-.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're gonna go back and only watch one match from this show, I would just recommend the mixed tag match. Which match would you recommend?
The Annihilation.
And of course, you probably recommend the mixed tag match as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our thoughts and our final grade on
You
WrestlePalooza.
see Team Pop-Tart versus Team AJ Husband.
Jesus. So yeah, that's our thoughts and our final grade on WrestlePalooza 2025. And well, here's a little reminder. Later on this week, when for the classic pay-per-view review segment here. Obviously, I already dropped this at the end of the last classic review last week, but might as well just tell you guys here again. Next week's review, we're going to be reviewing the 2018 A Sacrifice pay-per-view. And boy, will a Steiner mask be a freaking thing there.
Yes, you take your 33rd and a half chance, and then you add your 2.5% chance, and then you add Kurt Angle's 1.5 chance. I get 232.3% chance.
Yep, and then you add LA Knight and CM Punk's combined age of 100 to it. And you got about 156 and 2/3% chance it'll be a good show.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see you next time when we review Sacrifice 2008. And with that being said, we will talk to y'all later. Peace.
Deuces.